Hey guys, it's Sam. I hope that you're ready for a chatty Hobonichi video because that is what you'll find here today. If you are new, thank you so much for joining me. And if you're a regular viewer, thanks for always hanging in there with me. I wanted to talk today about the Hobonichi release. Like now that the dust has settled and the orders are in and I've gone through my stash, I just kind of wanted to talk through the things that I don't think to talk about in the moment. Like I get kind of laser focused on the ordering process and then getting things. And now I just kind of want to talk about how I feel about the launch of the year and then talk about my final two choices because I have narrowed things down. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just kind of the train wreck that was the Hobonichi release, but very briefly because I feel like we've all done that. I feel like Hobonichi overall is great with customer service, and yes, it was a train wreck. It was very frustrating overall, but I do believe that they're going to fix this. So I don't fear anything similar happening in the future. I think that whatever happened, they're going to fix it. And I don't believe that it was anything that was kind of out of their control other than maybe not estimating correctly for the traffic that they were going to receive, because Hobonichi themselves didn't say, hey, X, Y, or Z, or the storm, or any of those things. They basically were like, yeah, this was not good, and we're sorry about that. So I feel like it was just that they misjudged the traffic. But I do believe that they will get it fixed for next year. So that is like the first thing out of the way, because it was just the first time that I felt a frustrating shopping experience with them. The second thing, which I don't even know how I didn't bring it up before, I guess because it wasn't a focus for me particularly this year, but I did want to mention, and so since I didn't, I will say here, that I was really excited that they added a couple of different mega options. At the moment, mega isn't my jam. I'm not really... The Hobonichi Weeks is perfect for me for what it is, and I don't regularly journal. And then I like to be able to do some like messy notes. So my like daily list book, I have tried to put in the Hobonichi Weeks in the past, and it does work, but I find myself fighting the whole, do I want this here? In the end, would it matter? No. But I do like writing in the thinner book. And so I have for a few months now, and then on and off for a couple of years, have paired this pen and gear notebook. And so this is like where my lists are, the messy stuff that I might not want to have as a memory, but my plans and then any kind of journaling that I happen to do in the pages are things that I do want to keep. And this is the only planner that I hang on to, like I collect, and I'm not going to part with or purge at the end of the year. So it might be something that I go back to in the future, but for now I've been really happy with the regular weeks. So I guess I just wasn't focused on it. They did add the bow and tie fabrics this year in the mega lineup, and people have been asking for that for years. I think that it would be an inventory nightmare if they attempted to keep every single cover that they have for both mega and our regular weeks. But I feel like that shows their customer service and that they listen, because they did add some bow and tie fabrics to the lineup, and I know that people who have gotten kind of bored of using just the colors are really excited about that. And if I was choosing a mega this year, I would have been really happy to see that as well. Most of the ones for this year weren't really my jam, but so if I got a mega, I wouldn't have chosen one of those probably anyway, but yeah, I was happy to see it. And I think that just shows that Hobonichi really listens to their customers. So thank you for the mega options. All right, and then overall, you guys know me if you've been around here at all. I am not a girly girl. Like this color for me, with the pretty cats on it, is kind of, I don't know that this is even feminine, but I usually just kind of, I do love the botanical line. Still sad that they didn't continue with that, but I'm into the earthy colors and more kind of neutral options, and I don't like the pastels and all of that. So I was happy to see some more earthy, less girly options this year. I feel like overall Japanese culture does have some more cutesy stuff than I like, so that kind of makes it easy for me because it kind of lessens the amount of things that I would have on my oh, would I like that list. I'm also excited that they expanded the Han editions. They had several more options that were available this year. I ended up, let me grab it out of my box. I did end up getting the snake toy edition of the A6. I actually also bought the cousin, and I've already sold it because I just decided I am not so good at the daily planner, and although I had high hopes for myself to use a cousin daily for Bible study, that hasn't actually been happening. I thought that if I forced myself into a dated book that I would make myself use it. And tying it with Bible study, I was like, okay, so I will use it daily and this will keep me, writing notes. And so am I reading daily? Yes. But am I up in time to do enough study to take notes and all of those things? No. So I find myself using it less days than I expected. And if I do get into a pattern where I want to take notes, it's still probably not going to be daily. And so I think I'll just utilize any other notebook than a cousin for that. Part of it I do think was some FOMO with my husband's Hobonichi because I love it so much, and I just love that he easily says if I skip a few days, it doesn't matter. He does take a lot of notes in his, and he does utilize those empty pages as he goes. But the way my brain works, it's not as much of a fit. So this one is still a maybe in my lineup because I haven't regularly used my A6 for this year either. And I've talked about that in other videos. It's because I was used to the old Tomoe River paper and I liked the flow of it better than the new paper. I do think that this new paper has its advantages, but for the flow that I like to use for journaling, which again I suck at, I was not getting the same experience. I don't think that it's going to be the same for the Hobonichi weeks because I use it completely differently. But this one is kind of still I'm not completely sure that I'm going to use this yet, but the Hobonichi weeks is this is my planner. And I have learned that throughout the years, and this is the one for me. So that expanded Han edition, I just felt like it just made me smile that there were more options. That tells me that the line is doing well and they felt confident in expanding it. So I enjoy the extra options. And then my last thought that I had for the launch itself was for this year's bonus. I feel like every year we go a little bit cuckoo over the Hobonichi extras. And then of course you always have the pen, which I don't even have it out with me. So you always have the pen, and I love these pens, and I use a Unijet Stream every day otherwise, but this one is a little fine for me. So I definitely go through periods of using it and not using it. But you want the pen because that is part of the experience. So the pen this year, I like yellow, I like orange. This isn't a problem for me, but they usually give you some kind of little tchotchke that goes along with your order for other books. The pen is the only thing that comes with the weeks. And I have felt like in years past, your extra was usually something that wasn't extremely useful. It was cute, but it wasn't extremely useful. So I'm really glad that this year's extra that you get is a gridded notebook, because I feel like this is very useful, very functional, and it could replace one of these notebooks for me for next year. So I think that this is great, and I hope in the future they will continue to do something a little bit more useful, like that pretzel bag that I have from last year. It's still in the package and I've never used it once. So I do enjoy the fact that they made the extra a more functional item. So thank you, Hobonichi. So yeah, overall, I am left with two weeks to choose from. I've already parted with the others that I was unsure about, and I feel like I've definitely learned something with this launch. And I will be taking notes. I will be taking notes to put in my weeks, because these are the things that you kind of forget about in the frenzy of the Hobonichi launch. You don't want to be wrong about your choice, because either getting it from even Amazon, Jet Pens, and those kinds of shops are more expensive, then you don't get the freebie. Or if you're going to Hobonichi to order, you do get the freebies, but you're paying for the shipping. So you don't want to keep going back and ordering. And so that's why the last couple of years I've ordered all of the things that I thought I might like, and then sold what I didn't choose. But these were my two when I first saw the release. So you know how the Hobonichi previews, they go in, you know, whatever order. So the first ones that they showed was the colors. And I knew as soon as they showed it that if I was going to choose a color, it was going to be pistachio. And then when they started showing the other ones, I surprised myself by really being drawn to this Smiles and Tears one. And so this one, you have to go, I can do like a little, I'll share here, maybe the description of what it says, if I can get it to fit correctly. But I really liked that these were like little snapshots of the game and kind of like meaningful moments of the characters together. I don't play the mother game. It's not a thing for me, but it's in the earthy tones that I really like. And I just thought that it was fun. And I kind of had a little aw moment when I read the description of it. And so I decided that I wanted this to be one of the choices for the year. And these are the two that I'm left with. And so that tells me I can really kind of trust my gut on this, and buying extra just in case probably it's a little much. It's a little much. So I'm thinking about not doing that next year. I think I also need to tell myself that the cousin is out. Like this is the second or third year in a row that I have purchased a cousin, and it's not made it to the beginning of the year. So I think that I should probably stop buying the cousin. So these are my choices, and I haven't opened either of these because I was worried about opening them and the need to resell. But I have found in the past that people aren't usually leery about buying one that's been opened but is unused. So this is going to be my first time seeing anything inside of the weeks for the year, because this one, it's going to be so funny to me if this is the one that I go with, the regular pistachio weeks, because this was one of the ones that fell out of the whole order when I didn't think I was going to get an order in, and I ended up ordering from Yoseka, needing to cancel that because they didn't get it in, and then this one came from Amazon. And so if this is what I choose for 2025, it's going to be hilarious that I had my biggest Hobonichi order ever, and I ended up with a weeks from Amazon. But my husband opened his cousin the other day and he was like, have you seen this? Because it's kind of creepy looking. And you know, I'm used to those like cutesy characters, and this is totally a different vibe for sure. He's going to find a way to get this. Like, he wants to make this like some kind of wallpaper in his cousin, and he's not sure yet how he's going to do it. He was asking for some supplies for me, but yeah, this has some creepy vibes for sure. But I think it's pretty cool looking. And I always say that I'm gonna find a way to incorporate this into my weeks as well. But I really would like to try. The only thing, I'm sure that there's something special if you do these QR codes, but I don't know. As much of a kind of a digital snob I am in liking new technology, I don't like QR codes everywhere for everything. Anybody with me? Because I'm just like over seeing them everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So pretty cute. I would like to find a way to use this, but who knows? If history tells me anything, it's going to be a no. So here is the Smiles and Tears. And so I really wanted to open it, see the whole thing before I make my final decision for this one. So you do have the little plastic protecting it. Make sure to be careful with this. Okay, so things that I like about this one, I talked about in my unboxing video. I really like it when the date is somewhere different on the spine. But you know what? Much like why, okay, this was the thing that I really liked. It's the camera guy that's from the video game, and he's in the back here. This feels different to me. And I think because of how different it feels, as particular as I am, I feel like I'm gonna have to go with the pistachio. So yeah, I'm gonna just immediately put these back the way they came, and I'm gonna pack this up so somebody else can enjoy it. And now, see, I wasn't gonna open it at all. But I think I would have questioned myself had I not. And I did some silly things to get to my final two. And the final two made the cut, honestly, because of aesthetics. So I got out my favorite two covers that I'm constantly choosing. And I just looked to see if I liked them with that book. So these look good together, yes. And then these look really good together as well. And I was like, oh, this one might be it. But I don't like the way it feels. So I'm going to go with my first choice, pistachio, my Amazon purchase. This is crazy to me. And I love this hobo pattern here. So I don't think I'd want to choose one that didn't have that. Yeah. So this is going to be my choice for the year. And the other thing is, it's been a couple of years since I used just a regular color, and my favorite clear cover of all time, Hide and Seek, is going to look absolutely gorgeous with this. And then of course the new one that came out this year, I don't like it as much as Hide and Seek, but it's the best one that they've had in a while. Why can't I find it? Here it is. The beautiful, what is it? Beautiful Season. So I'm gonna open this guy up and see how that looks. See, that's so pretty. That's pretty. I think that I will, because of the mittens, I think I'll use this one in the winter. And it's not winter yet. It's almost fall. No, yes, tomorrow is fall. And then here is one from many moons ago. I don't even remember how many years ago. But this is the Aubon Pain, I think is how you say it. The bread one. So I have some clear covers with designs on them that are going to go really well with this. And I haven't had that in years. It's also going to look really good with this. And it will also look really good with either of these that would go around the clear covers. Yeah, so it looked good with the navy and the red, and then the natural. And this, as soon as I opened this, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like the decision has been made for me. Because look at how good this looks together. That's like the perfect fit, right? So I'm kind of relieved that this was easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a huge struggle. I don't think that it would be a problem. It feels a little thinner. When you put a clear cover on it, I think that most of that feeling is going to go away. But I don't know, for me, like an immediate, I feel like I have to touch things and to experience them fully and know for sure. And as soon as I touched it, opened it, yeah, I knew it was not the one. So this is, I'm excited, relieved to have the decision made. I'm doing my usual, are you sure you shouldn't have gotten the mega? But I mean, I've been in the Hobonichi weeks, this particular one, almost the entire year with some back and forth, and I'm nowhere in these pages. And I could do better about that, and maybe I would run out, but I'll wait and see. I've never run out of pages before, so I shouldn't second guess that either. Yeah, I'm really happy with this result, because this was my first gut absolutely yes. I need to trust myself more. That's what I need to do. Like, I trust myself in things that are like, I just kind of go on my gut instinct in situations where I like shouldn't, probably things that put me in danger, but I don't trust my gut instinct when it comes to planners and stationery. That's bizarre, but that's me. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the release this year, and if you are purchasing a Hobonichi product, I'd love to hear what you chose in the comments below. I think a lot of people correctly guessed that this was going to be the one for me for 2025, and that makes me smile, honestly, to know that people know my style enough to be like, you're gonna go with the pistachio, I don't know what you're doing. So yeah, that makes me happy. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if this is your first time, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll subscribe. And if you've been with me through thick and thin, I appreciate you sticking with me always. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here and don't want to miss out on future videos, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.